Hello everybody, welcome back to Automation. We are going to continue on messing around with the car manager or cosmetic design studio. Last time we did an 85 and a 90s, or a 1985 and a 1990 version of what I'm calling my Axis car. I'm going to stick with the same platform for this episode and do a 95 and a 2000, maybe a 2005 version. If we have time, if I move a little quicker, I will go ahead and look at some of the hatchback options as well. But for now, let's start off with another rear-wheel drive two-door coupe platform. But this time I'm going to make something that is more... a little bit more modern. 95 is an era where, especially in the realm of the Japanese automakers and the European automakers, car design really started to shift back into having larger proportions and much more rounded design. So, in our last car, can I still see? No. Nope, can't quite see it there in the background. But our last car, it had, in 90s, it had rounded a little bit, but it still had a pretty sharp nose and shorter back and more of a hatch style. For this car, let's see, I think I want a nose that's pretty tucked in, and then, I don't want it to be flat like the 80s, but I want it to kind of stand up just a little bit and have not wrapped underneath, but just a flat outward nose with maybe just a hair bit of a lip. I'm going to bring the fenders in a little bit and in the rear. The windshield, I'm pretty happy with how that windshield looks. So I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to bring the back window up a little bit and bring them back in a little bit. You know what? No, I'm gonna leave the back pretty large and the back window pretty large. Like I said, very large proportions to the two-door coupes in this era. Okay, so let me see. I like the pretty short door. Like so. I think that's all I want to change. Nothing too terribly fancy or nothing too extreme about bodies of this era. What we're going to do though is with the fixtures, instead of having kind of that flush to the hood kind of look with the headlights, we're going to go with a more, let's go with this one, more forward-facing headlight design, but body wrapping. So what that means is I'm going to stretch them out across the body a little bit, keep them pretty narrow, like so. Let me look at the other directions of these. That's pretty depressing looking. See, that's aggressive looking, but it looks too 80s, I believe. So let me flip those back over. How about rotating them down a little? Let's keep them flat. That gives me some ideas for my later ones, though. For the later years. That's, I don't know, maybe too far out. Yeah, let's try that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go with a center grille again. They started to get a little bit more popular once again once we start seeing these more upright vanity plates again. Is what I call this, a vanity plate in the front. So I'm going to put kind of a little bit of a kidney shaped one here. Flip it over. Nope. I'm going to keep it pretty smiley looking. That's not like me. Let's see, I want it pretty flush with the lights, but pretty narrow. Yeah, just like that. And then at the bottom, let's see what we can do with the bottom. How did this look? See, I used this one for the 80s, but how about the one with just a few openings. No, that's more fins than I think I'd like to see in it. So let's not go with that one. Let's try this one. So this one just has a few fins top and bottom. Not gonna flip it. Yeah. It's very square. But that squareness kind of... it's kind of clashing with the roundness of the car. But I could add some vents to the sides here to maybe help round it out. So let's keep that for now. Let's go back to vents, or to the vents, I mean, and see about maybe something like these. About here. Keep those on a level with these guys. And pretty large and wrapping around to the body. See, adding those, it helps bring back that roundness to the front that was missing with just that square grille. Okay, so some indicators. These headlights do not seem to have them in them. Nope. So, I'm going to go with the clear indicators this time. Those things default to like a huge size. Like gigantic. Let's bring those down to a more appropriate size. And I'm going to go actually right in the corner. Yep, just like that. Again, accenting the roundness of the front. And I would like to have... Can I do this? No, I cannot. What if I put them on the front? Well, let me do it then. Just curious. Nope. You can only go on the front. Okay, so what about... Can I do some fog lights? That's something I haven't really done. And will they go... I see I put those vents there and they're kind of in the way. Because I don't think they will go inside of the grill, unfortunately. Let's see. No, because of the way the body shapes around them. What about right on the bottom? Is that too busy? Yeah, I think that's a little too busy. So no fog lights for this one. Maybe I'll consider that for the next generation. Can't forget door handles, of course. Let's see. And still a pretty standard look for these. I might narrow them up a little. Yeah. Nothing crazy there. Let's see about the taillights, though. I like the way these look as far as the mid-90s go, anyway. They aren't cleared out. One thing I absolutely hate, is this clear style taillight look. That got super popular in the 2000s, so I may end up including them in the next car, but in the 90s they were still pretty much all red and amber, like so. But again, just barely starting to wrap around the corners a little bit more. I'm going to keep them pretty large. Again, with those large proportions. Let's see. How's that looking? That looks okay. I kind of wish on the body itself you could round out the back a little bit more instead of just pushing in and out. Because I would like to have the trunk be a little bit more rounded down. But we'll work with what we've got here. This is still extremely early on as far as the car designer goes, so still much work for them to do on it. This is just to give us an example of what it is capable of. You can tell already that you can do an awful lot with it, even with the limited car bodies and options we have. What else have I missed? Exhausts. Let's go for some dual outlets this time. I'm pretty far out on the bumpers. Pretty far down. There we go. And then go small, because I wouldn't think this would be a V8 car, probably a V6. V6s were pretty common of this era, both in Japanese and American cars. European cars were still pretty much focused on 4 cylinders or inline 6s. But you can still have dual exhaust. Why not? Let's see. What else are we possibly missing? Vents. We might be able to get away with a little hood vent. Let's see. Pretty wide one. And in the back, that's a little Subaru-ish. A little Subaru design into it. With that huge hood, I don't know if it fits really. What if it was flipped? Yeah, I think the flipped works better. You can make it a little longer. Just like that. Is there anything else I want to do? A badge. We'll go back to a modest sized badge this time. Is that centered? Yeah, I guess it's centered. There we go. Right on the front. So there we have it. This is what I'm going to call a 1995. Oh wait, I was doing Axis 95. If I could type, good lord. There we go. Save. So this is our same car in a 3rd generation platform. 5 years is about average, I would say, for how long a car goes before it gets a total redesign, a total new generation. So that seems like a good average window to stick to. Let's move on and go for a 2000s car. Oops, got a little bug going on there. Go with that white body again. Keep it consistent so we know. Oh, that's what it was. So that we know we can compare them all together and they all look like they're of the same group. Let's put. Oops, let's not go to fixtures. Let's stay on the body. 2000. Some features of what would be the 2000s. Not a huge shift in design. Maybe a little bit more. Obviously, I'm going to say more modern design, but obviously it's more modern. But some of the edges starting to get a little crisper and more aggressive looking. So that's the kind of look I'm going for here. But I want a similar flat-nosed kind of upward hood design. A little bit more lip this time. I'm going to keep the wider fenders front and back. I'm going to shrink the trunk a little and move the window up. So almost not quite notch back, but just a much more coupe looking shape rather than a hatch looking shape. So real short bumper. And I'm gonna actually increase the let's see. The only thing, when you increase the windshield here, it also kind of rounds out this A-pillar. I'm not too thrilled with the way that looks. I'm gonna leave that slicked back a little bit. Move the hood up a little. Yeah, let's do that. See, by moving the hood up, by moving the window up, I've shortened the hood, and that gives me a little bit more of a roof line without having to go too rounded here. Got some errors in the modeling and the way it adjusts there. You can see it kind of gets some funky angles going on, but that's another reason I'm going with the white bodies. It kind of hides some of that. So I'll move the doors up to accommodate that. There we go. I'm pleased with that body shape. I'm going to stick with the same headlight design. I'm going to use it in a different way. So much larger. Then a little angled. Angled in. Just like so. And even more wrapped to the body. Then I'm going to go to the grills. See, now that I'm more familiar and comfortable with the designer, you can kick out these designs pretty quick and keep experimenting with different designs. That's a problem. That open one. I love the look of an open grill, but there's nobody in here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go with that one there. So that looks a little, cheery, happy. That looks way too sad. That's like depressing looking. But what I'm gonna do with that, I want that pretty big, like so, is you give it a different look as far as the bottom grills go. I'm gonna go with a large one like so. Up a little. It's looking pretty cheery. Still, so let me think about some things here. Hi. No. That one as well. Not working for me. Let's see here. I may get rid of this. Not liking the way that looks, so I might as well just exit. How's the kidney shape look? Yeah, it's still pretty cheery looking. That's the one I used on the last generation, so I don't really want to use that one. Let's see, that's the one I just used. What about if I took this, shrunk it down? Nope. What is this? This is like an Alfa Romeo grill here. Kidney bean shaped. Oh, now there's something. There's something funny looking. Funny looking can be good if it's pulled off correctly. Now let's take the second one. Shrink it down. Bring it down here. Bring you down here. Stretch this one across as well. It's kind of a Dodge cross grill there. Let's see, let's back up from it a little. If it didn't have that huge center section, I would say that might work. But with that huge center section, it's looking... Oh, this one has a smaller one. Let's try that. So this one here, I do another one here, but inversed. And across. Getting a little bit of clipping error in it, but that's okay. Obviously I'm using it in a different way than was intended. So I like the bottom piece. So let's keep that and add a square one. But you can kind of tell they're different grill designs, so that might not work. I don't know, that kind of looks neat. Then I add this same grill to the bottom, but pretty large one. And then do my idea with the lights. The big fog lights in the corners. There you go. Big fog lights. So it's not a very aggressive looking design, but you can tell it looks a little bit more interesting, like there's more elements to it. I might even add some vents in there as well. Not very large ones like that, but just some small vents, because those started to get popular again. There we go. And I'm just kind of accenting some of that. Yeah, that turned out pretty well. I kind of found it on accident, but it came out. Alrighty, so let's see. What is next? I don't know if I want to put indicators on this one. It would obviously need them. Let's see what I can do with these. Start getting a little creative. How's that look? Oh yeah, that's neat. I like that. Alright. Enough of that silliness. Let's move on. Move on to the sides. And all we have here is going to be some handles. What can I do with these? Why won't you add handle? There you are. You're acting funny. Thank you. Is there any way I could line them up? Would that work? Or does that look weird? That looks weird. It's not 90 degrees. Let's see. Will it wrap? Not really. It's kind of sticking out the body. So no, we'll have to go with a standard look. I'm going to make it real thin up there. You must have very tiny fingers to open this door. Make it a little taller then. There we go. And no side vents, I don't think. Let's see how they would look. Like, yeah, I kind of like that. I don't think that's exactly where they intended this kind of vent to be used. See, it's sitting on the body a little weird. But I kind of like the way that looks down there. Gives it just a little bit of character. And now he's swinging around to the back for some tail lights. I'm kind of avoiding using these because they are so Sylvia inspired. You look at them and it makes every car look like a Sylvia from the back. Although it's not a bad thing. That was an awesome, stunning car design in my opinion. I'm a little biased though. But what did I use last time? I used these. But then I said in the 2000s these started to get popular, which this isn't a terrible design. The factory clear Altezza design wasn't terrible. It was all the aftermarket ones that really looked bad. What I'm going to do is take these and thin them out and wrap them a little bit. Pretty high on the body right there. Is there anything I could do weird? Let's see. Taillights. And what can I do that's strange? Not too much with these. What would these look like? Now there's an idea that I wasn't thinking about. What about a little bit of other Nissan inspiration with the Skyline look? Gee, I wonder what I'm drawing inspiration from. R34. A little clipping with it going up too high in the body. Let's see. Bring that down. Bring this down. I'm still freaking out a little bit there. That's okay. We can work with that. And let's do a cutout in the back. I'm pretending this company is American based, so I'm going to have a US style opening on the trunk. And some exhaust tips right underneath the taillights. Let's actually go with the single ones. Exhaust single. It's pretty large, like 3-inch tips. Let's see, those taillights look a little small on the back of this car though. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm liking those. It's a good design, it just maybe doesn't work quite well enough for this car. Let's see what else I can do. Can I maybe use both of these somehow? Yeah, that's a neat look. They kind of look like they're a little, they don't pair very well together. I guess their design elements are a little different, but that's okay. Can I actually make them an oval rather than round? Yeah. Yeah, those look just tacked on, like they don't belong there. So taillights, I guess I'm gonna keep pretty simple like those. These look pretty Evo inspired, but the back of this car doesn't look anything like an Evo, so it doesn't read like that. So there we go. This is what I'm gonna call. Actually, let me bring these in just a little bit. This is what I'm going to call the 2000 version. So axis. Save. So there you have it. You can see you have all 4 generations, oops, of the same car. So you start in 85, pretty square look. 90, the front really comes down and the headlights become very morphed into the hood line. Then you move up to 95 and it becomes a little bit more blunt-nosed but rounded. And then in the 2000s, everything just looks a little bit more interesting and edgy. So, let us maybe move on to a new platform, a new car, using the hatch body. There's a lot of things you can do with this as well. This is just the default look. I'm going to go back to the white. You can see the chassis, it's a monocoque small car, steel chassis, front transversal front wheel drive, McPherson strut with double wishbone in the back. That's a pretty impressive suspension setup for a front wheel drive car, so it could be a hot hatch, and I think that's what I want to design. Maybe not something that's, just a basic car. I'm going to make a basic shape like your base model, and then I'm going to make a hot hatch version of it. So let's see. Alrighty, so let's start adjusting on this body a little bit. I want to bring the nose out. I get rid of some of that rounded look. I'm noticing you're going to get a little bit of a weird line here doing that. So let me bring the nose, the front of the nose all the way out, and the bottom of the nose all the way out. Let's see. Something like that, maybe. Let's see, I can bring that up. I believe I can bring this part up as well, or down. So let's go down, out. Like so. I kind of want to give it a little bit more hood. It's got these kind of strange downward facing windows, very European look. Let's bring that back. That kind of gives it a weird window / roof line. I'm gonna go for not the swept back window, but actually the more hatch style, but still 4-door. See, if you did it like that, it would be more of a 2-door, even though it has a door here. But kind of like so. Not micro car look, but actually pretty extended in the back. Yeah, large rear bumper. Actually gonna bring that forward again. I like to, there we go, bring the window up a little. That looks better to me. Okay, let's see, what else can we do? We can bring the door up a little, since I shrunk the back door. Bring the front doors up. And we can go on to some fixtures. I believe I'm going to have the same selection of fixtures for this body. Let's see, and this time I'm not going to go arrow-wise. I'm going to go just, this is something I'm designing right now, today, for today's market. So, no limitations as far as the look. And that's something very interesting about car design at the moment. There's not, in my opinion, there's not a set look. There's a retro design, there's a modern design, there's edgy design, there's round designs. There's still a ton of generic looking cars out there. I'm looking at you, Toyota. But there's also a lot of very interesting and somewhat controversial designs out there. And that makes for a much more interesting experience when you're looking at cars. Maybe not every car needs to look the same or quote-unquote right. So what I'm gonna do is go for a pretty odd design. I'm just doing this all off the cuff. I have not given any thought to the ways I want to design these cars prior to me launching the game and going in here and messing with it. So I feel as though that's the best way to go. You'll get your coolest designs that way. You're not limited by what you've already preset in your brain. Let's see. Go with grills now. I think I want to go with a single grill. Large all the way over to the headlights. Very narrow. Do I want it up by the headlights? No, I want it on the bottom. Then I'm going to do another grill in this kidney shape. Very narrow once again. All the way across. About there. And then another grill. No. But I'm going to do some vents. I'm going to do those here, maybe. Yeah. Very large. And angled up like so. So it looks like... Actually, let me take those off. Let me leave those off for now. And I'll leave that. So that's pretty... it's interesting. I like the headlights, but it's kind of plain looking. That's what I'm going for. The indicators, do clear, small indicators, about there. And indicators are something a lot of modern designs are straying away from. A lot of them are just fused into the headlights, so not necessarily a requirement for these cars, for a car of the modern era. So there we go, that's that. No vents, no cutouts, anything like that. These cars are all about budget and how little can we put on these things to make them complete. So now 2 sets of door handles. Let me put them back here, yeah. And I'm going to put these, shrink them down and put them at an angle with the door, if you let me. Go. Just like so. And some taillights. I'm not too sure what to do here. Let's think. These are obviously the ones that I think they are leaning towards being on the hatch. So I am going to explore some other options though. And let's see. What are these guys gonna look like on here? I don't know how they're gonna mold to that weird corner. I don't want it to look smart car-y, that's for sure. That's one of my least favorite current designs. So I'm straying away from that. Let's see here. Can I flip it this way? Don't want to. Don't want that at all. What about... No, can't do that. Getting too crazy now. So what can I do with these? Get those up again. There. Another set here, but small. How's that looking? That looks pretty good. Yeah, they're not complete circles. They're ovals and wrapped into the body. Tailpipes. Gotta go with the duals, even though I think this car would have singles. I think that's something to do with how it makes the bodies. The bodies are actually only half a body, and it just mirrors it on the center axis. So what you put on one side has to go on the other side. I think that's something they are working on, looking into, is how to make asymmetrical designs, but just haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm going to do real small tailpipes. And I think that's all I'm going to do for what is considered the base model. So let's think of a name for this guy. See, all these cars have really weird names, like let's see, there's the Focus, obviously there's the Civic Hatch, but there's also the Peugeots and all those, the Citroens. They have kind of the letter numbered style name, so I think I'm gonna go with something like that and say it's the CN. Let's see, it's a 4-door, 4-cylinder probably. So I'm gonna go 16V CN. Okay, and then I'm going to take this same car and just with fixtures, I'm not going to change the body at all, make it into a hot rod or hot hatch looking car. Or hot rod, what am I thinking? Where was those vents I had before? Those were looking cool. These guys. Do a silver. And then I have them pretty large and angled. Like so. So I've done away with the blinkers. And let's see what else I can do here. Maybe get rid of this grill. Go for something like this. Much bigger. I didn't even change it from the factory shape or the default shape because that worked so well. Let's see. I can't adjust the body anymore, I believe, because of the way the headlights and whatnot are on there. No, it's not going to let me do that. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Put the grill down just a hair. And let's see about some more vents. Vents make everything faster. Big vents right before the... Can I do that? No, well, let me put those there. But can I put them exiting? Yes. Almost like a diffuser look. Venting out the air from the wheel wells. Probably actually doing nothing but making it look cool. That is what we want. So now let's see about maybe up here. Yeah, it's getting too busy. Too busy. Indicators, well, let me put them down. How far? Nope, that's as far back as it'll go, and I don't really want them there, so I'm going to leave them off. And then I'm going to put big old hood scoop. Right there. So that's our same car, but like a sport model. And what's cool about that, just doing that, is in the future, when it's an actual car company tycoon, just think of how much you'll get to do to make a car company your own. The engines, you'll have your own set of engines that, like, you'll have your hot engine, your normal engine, stuff like that, and you can have those all set up similar to how I have them, just an inventory of engines waiting to be used. And then you can just take one car body and make 5 generations of that car, make 5 different models of every generation of that car. The possibilities are pretty much endless as far as what you could do with a game, and that's, for as early as this game is in development, that is a really cool thing. So it's only going to get better. So we're going to call this one the R race car. Oops, I forgot to save it. Oh well. Did I? I think I did. Oops. That's okay. I just kind of wanted to give you an example of what you could do just with the fixtures to make the car look different. And I think I took care of that. So, are you ready for it? Because tomorrow is when the Car Manager and Car Design Studio will be released in the current build of the game. If you have pre-ordered, you will have access to it tomorrow, Tuesday, July 30th. They are based in Australia, so think about the time zones if you're sitting there tomorrow morning and they're like, oh, where is this thing? Their time zones are a little different than here in the States or in Europe, so be patient with that. If you haven't pre-ordered, you should, but you can get a hold of this Car Design Studio on August the 6th, I believe. So there's a little delay if you haven't pre-ordered before you can get your hands on it. And also, if you haven't gone on Steam and helped these guys out by voting for their game on Greenlight, go to Steam, just type in automation and it'll bring up the Greenlight page, or I have a link in the description. Please do that as well, But as always, my name is Cone Dodger, and thanks for watching.